Hello and welcome to the bedside table. I am your host, Sleepy Ellie. I am sleepy though. I just took a shower, and all of my showers are generally really hot showers. Just because that's the vibe I like. It's very relaxing. So every time I take a shower, I'm always sleepy. That's why I tend to not take showers in the mornings. I like to take them in the evenings because they make me incredibly tired. But yeah, I can tell I've had a good shower if I step out of the shower and my skin is steaming, like the steam is coming off my skin. That's how I know I've had a really good shower. The only way to take a shower is to almost melt your skin off, and you can fight me if you disagree. I'm kidding. Don't fight me. I've never fought anybody in my entire life. I would not be good at it. You would win. I'm just giving it to you now. You don't have to fight me to prove anything. Just forget I brought that up. But hot showers, say aye if you're with me. I guess I forgot what ear I was listening with, even though I listened with both of them. I was just like, which ear? Anyway. So yeah, hot showers. That's the hot take on hot showers. Yeah, so tonight I figured I would paint my toenails because these puppies need to be painted, okay? Let's just say that. It's been a minute. They still have leftover pink on them from I don't know how long ago. So, yeah. So we're just gonna have some, I was gonna say like bedtime chatter, but typically you don't really chatter when you go to bed. Unless you're like me and you lay in bed and you talk to yourself, because that's how you that's how you best process your thoughts. It can't just be me. It cannot just be me. That's how I process my thoughts the best. I say them to myself and I have conversations with myself. Yes, I said it. That's how I process my thoughts. I say it out loud. It helps me. So sometimes I will lay in bed and just talk about stuff. Talk about my thoughts. Talk about what's going on. It's the best way that I figure my thoughts out, you know? I used to write a lot back when I was growing up. I did a lot of poetry, actually. I remember I was really into it when we had, I don't know if you guys ever did stuff like this in like English class, but we had like poetry portfolios, but it was like a project. It was like a poetry project. So you could make it like an art piece, but most people, unless you just went out of your way to really make it something, most people did like binders, which is what I did. And I think we did that, I want to say at least 2 years, maybe 3 years we did those. And I really liked them. And I think I probably still have them. Maybe. I don't know. That'll be something for me to dig out and find next time I'm organizing things and I just get lost in all of the nostalgia. You know, like when you're trying to organize and you just end up sitting in your room for like half an hour to like 3 hours, just like, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff that I have. Oh my gosh, memories. Oh, nostalgia. Ooh, notes. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's cold. That's chilly. Chilly on my toesies. So I went to karaoke last night. The first time that I've been to karaoke at LL, which is my favorite club here in the city. And I took a friend, me and a friend went, and first time, like I said, going to karaoke at this particular club. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a couple of drinks to... Yes, I know, I had a couple of drinks to deal with the nervousness, and I actually sang. I sang more than once. I sang a few songs. But really the highlight of the show were the security guards. They're brothers, and they both just sang their little hearts out and danced as well. Specifically, one of them danced to Pony by Genuine. And it was hilarious. And I remember thinking while I was sitting there just watching and like laughing and enjoying it, I was just like, oh my God, how do you do this? First of all, how do you get up in front of a group of people, which granted it wasn't that busy last night, but still, like a group of strangers? How do you get up in a public place in front of a group of strangers and kind of just like be goofy and silly, and like I full on just painted the top of my toe, be goofy and silly and like kind of make a fool of yourself? And I don't mean that in a bad way, just like a fun way. How are you that comfortable? Like, are you just that comfortable with yourself that you can do that? Do you just not care about what people think? And if that's the case, if you just like really don't care about what people think, can you like clue me in on what that kind of life is like? Because it looks really fun. I think it's really challenging for me to not be concerned with how I'm perceived by others. And I haven't done too much of a deep dive into this. On why it's difficult for me to just kind of let loose. So I really don't know. I'm not sure why I care a whole lot about how people perceive me. I can say, like, I want people to enjoy my presence. And I think sometimes that can kind of turn into people pleasing, where I'm acting and behaving a specific way, like kind of tailored to how someone's acting toward me. So, and this is kind of a thing that I don't really notice all the time, but there was this question on an online career test that I took that said, do you change the way you act depending on who you're around? Or so, it was something like that. Like, basically it's like, does your personality change based off of like who you're talking to? And that question kind of sparked an awareness of like, oh yeah, it kind of does, like in like every little way too. So I'll catch myself, what's the word I'm looking for? Nitpicking, or like I'll catch myself fine-tuning is the word I'm looking for. What? I'll catch myself fine-tuning like text messages that I send to people. Depending on who you are, I'll catch myself kind of like basically, oh, interesting, I just got a thought, I'll talk about it. Basically, it's like I'm kind of mimicking what the person is doing. And I think the thought that I just had, it was like, I think the reason why I do that is because I want people to feel comfortable. And most people, I would think, are comfortable with themselves, like are comfortable with their own perceptions and comfortable with the way that they speak and the way that they text and the way that they act. So I kind of mimic that a little bit. Mimic, I feel like, is kind of the wrong word. It's the best thing that I can think of. But I basically, I guess my personality does change because I've noticed it. I've been able to pick up on it a little bit. So like, you know, like fine tuning these little things and how I act and what I say and all this, it is dependent on whom I'm around. Whom? Would I use whom there? My brain automatically just used whom. I don't know if that's correct. Based off of whom I'm around, because I guess I don't want to disturb anybody's peace. Like I want people to be comfortable. And that's true. I do want people to be comfortable. But I also, I don't want to have to sacrifice my voice, and I don't want to have to mold and shape myself in these little ways to bring comfort to other people. Like I want to be able to be comfortable in my own skin, and more than that, just like be comfortable with my own words and my own perspective and my own thoughts and my own feelings and my own opinions. And I think that's a struggle for me. So I think, yeah, if I were to ask myself, I guess I kind of figured it out here with you guys. That's cool. You're like, because I was just saying, like at the beginning of this, like I don't really know why I find it difficult to just kind of be carefree and like have fun and not care what people think. I think everything that I just talked about is why, because I'm not necessarily comfortable with my own perspectives and I'm not comfortable outwardly expressing and sharing my own perspectives and my own thoughts and feelings, I guess. Like it's much easier for me to just kind of latch onto and attach myself to the comfort of other people. Like I'm good at that. I'm good at making other people feel comfortable. At least I think. Or at least maybe that's what these little people-pleasing tactics and these little fine-tuning my behaviors, like I guess that's what its intention is to make people feel comfortable. Whether or not it actually makes people feel comfortable, I don't know. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm glad we all figured that out together. It's funny because I hear a lot that if you just ask yourself the right questions, you'll find the answer. And see, here I am, talking out my thoughts, processing my thoughts. We learned something new. That's why it's one of my favorite ways to process my thoughts. Just speaking out loud, without judgment. At least trying not to judge. We're not perfect people. It happens. But trying not to judge it, just trying to let it be and being curious. So asking questions like, I wonder why it's hard for me to not care what people think. And then it opens up a dialogue with yourself, which I love. I've been talking to myself for years. So I'm going for red. I don't know if you could tell. I don't think you can see my toes. If you can, great. I don't think you can. And I'm not sure that you can see this color either, but it is... It says color craze nail polish. Oh, I thought it said with harden. Like with harden. But it says with hardeners. Which, okay. Hot. Nice. I'm not one to make dirty jokes at all. It's very out of character for me. But that's kind of fun, isn't it? To like be out of character. I might do a second coat. I don't know. Possibly. I like the red though. You got me feeling a
vibe. You got me feeling a vibe. Like how could I not think of you? You got me feeling a vibe. You got me feeling a vibe. Like how could I not think of you? You got me feeling some type of way. From the songs, it's too early.
I got hired on as a go-go dancer at my favorite freaking club in the city. Like, and this opportunity just like happened. So my friend and I, well, a couple friends and I, we were at a concert, All American Rejects. Hey, we went and saw All American Rejects, and we left early because, first of all, didn't want to wait till it was over to leave when it was going to be extremely packed getting out of the place because everyone's leaving at the same time. So we left early after we listened to Dirty Little Secret. I'll keep you my dirty little secret. I know everyone knows this song, and if you don't, you should. I'm kidding. That was harsh. Was it harsh? I'm not trying to be harsh. It's a good song. That's all I'm saying. I just wanted to sing it. I know we know it. I just wanted to sing it. But so we went to the All American Rejects concert, and then I asked them if they wanted to go dancing afterward because I don't know about you, but like watching people on stage just kind of like, hold on, let me adjust this a little bit. Watching people on stage just kind of doing their thing, especially as a musician, it just energizes me. It makes me happy. It makes me feel good. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love the energy. And the keyboardist for, I think it was what was that band? Oh my gosh. Newfound Glory. Newfound Glory? I think it was either Newfound Glory or it was... I'm blanking. Oh, crap. Anyway, it was either Newfound Glory or the band that played before them. Motion City Soundtrack. I remembered. It was either Motion City Soundtrack's keyboardist or it was Newfound Glory's keyboardist that was like vibing on stage. I was just freaking rocking it. And I was like, that is me. That is my energy right there. If I was on stage, that would be me. Oh my gosh. So anyway, just the vibe and the energy on stage and musicians performing, I love it. I absolutely love it. So I was energized. I felt good. And so I was like, hey, I would love to go dancing afterward if you guys want to go. And my two friends that I went to the concert with ended up not wanting to go. They were tired. No biggie. So I invited my other friend to come with me, and he was down to go. He said he would commit a crime to leave his house. So he was really antsy to get out of the house, which I'm glad for. I'm glad that I could help get him out of the house, and I'm glad that he came with me. So that night after the concert, we went to LL, and that's when let me tell you, I had 4 double rum and cokes because your girl was enjoying herself, and I had so much fun. Always have so much fun dancing there, and I met a couple of the owners, and they were just talking with me. I think they bought me a drink. I think my last drink was on the house. Woohoo! And they ended up coming up to me and talking to me about go-go dancing. And I was like, yeah. They were like, we already have one other girl if you would like, because I'm just there so often. I'm sure that they've seen me before. I know that I've met one of them or a couple of them. I know I've met some of their team at LL. I know I've met them before that night. But anyway, they offered me to go, and I was just like, yeah, duh. So it was just this opportunity that came about because I didn't want to go home after a concert, and I'm so glad that I didn't go home after the concert because now I'm go-going again. And I just remember I've reached out a few times to the go-go dance lead, the one who's making my go-go outfits for this gig. I reached out to her a couple times and asked her if she ever needed a dancer, like reach out to me, because I just missed it. Dancing is one of my favorite things, and especially being a part of a go-go team. Like, it's just going to be me and one other girl, so it's going to be small, but it's just such a nice thing. I don't feel like that's how I want to describe it. I'm just kind of in like camera mode and like podcast mode, so it's hard for me to express my thoughts about it and my feelings about it, but I'm here and I'll get there, and I'm trying. So I'm just really excited. I've been wanting to get back out there, and growing up, I was very antisocial, partly not because I wanted to be, but then ended up becoming like, okay, yeah, so I guess if I'm an outsider, I'll be an outsider. I just kind of went with the role that I ended up being like kind of placed in by default with high school cliques and stuff like that. Like I wasn't cool enough or whatever. So I ended up I was like an outsider, and I was pretty antisocial, and I was gonna say, I hated people. I was gonna say I had a heavy dislike for people, but no, I mean, truth be told, I hated people. I hated being around people. I hated having to talk to people. Like, I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want people to talk to me. Like, and part of it was also because I was just very like nervous and shy, and I didn't like attention. I didn't want any attention on me. Like, I didn't want to be noticed, it's kind of ironic because that's all I've ever wanted. Or I guess that's all I ever did want growing up, was just to be like acknowledged and noticed. But it became this thing where I was like, okay, I would isolate myself, and I would just keep to myself. And I think I just found safety in that, because it hurt a lot knowing that I wasn't noticed by the people that were important in my life. And by that I just mean like my dad, my family, my mother. Like, I was noticed in the ways that a parent takes care of a child. Like, how am I trying to say this? Like, basic needs, just like shelter, food. Like, basically I was noticed for like, are you alive, pretty much, and not much more than that. It sounds kind of harsh. I guess I was noticed a bit more than that, but just really not enough. I was very kind of emotionally neglected and dismissed a lot with my thoughts and my feelings. Very much dismissed. So I went on to a full rant, and I even told myself I wasn't going to get into anything from my childhood, but here I am talking about my childhood. It's just where the conversation went. It's fine. I have to self-soothe myself and remind myself, like, hey, it's okay. It's okay wherever it goes. It's okay, just go with it. It's fine. But then I lose my train of thought of like, what was the point I was trying to make? I was antisocial. Yeah, this is the point I was trying to make. So I didn't like people. I hated people growing up. I was antisocial. And I hit a period in my adulthood where I really started to enjoy being social. And this happened, I want to say probably around the time, I want to say probably around the time that I met my husband, and also probably around the time that I got more into the scene of like nightlife and like go-go dancing. So being a part of that scene definitely helped. It just kind of broadened things for me. Meeting different kinds of people. Yeah. And then pet sitting too, because I've been pet sitting for years now, and you meet a whole bunch of different people. Even though it's like briefly, I have to be able to communicate well with people, with my clients, because I'm I'm offering them a service, and people's pets are like family, and they are family because I have a cat of my own, and she's my baby girl. She's my little meatball, and she's family to me. So other people, feel the same way about their pets. It's just how pets are. They're part of the fam bam. So I had to really learn how to communicate like empathetically and communicate well to build up my clientele through or for pet sitting. So, I just kind of really started enjoying communicating with people, and it still makes me nervous, and I still do struggle sometimes, and I'm still not like super comfortable just approaching strangers, like unless I've been drinking a little bit, which is kind of an issue because it's like, all right, liquid courage, but I'd like to be able to do it without the liquid courage someday. I'd like to be able to do it just with my bare ass courage, and be able to do it even if I'm nervous without having to kind of like numb that nervousness, but we're getting there. And of course, like when I talk with my clients through pet sitting, I'm not drunk, or I'm not drinking. So that is just like bare ass naked communication. And why am I saying it like that? Bare ass naked communication. Okay. Again, out of character, just making like snarky little dirty comments. Yeah. But like, I don't mind. We can be out of character. We can be any kind of character we want to be, right? It's me. It's my life. It's my choice. I get to play whatever character I want to, right? I don't know where this is going. But yeah, so I've just, within the past few years, I've really grown to like being social, and my perspective on people has really changed. And I think that just kind of came with growing up too, and also just meeting people and getting to know people and having friends that have come and gone, and you really start to appreciate, especially when you have friends as an adult, when you have friends that you lose or friends that kind of just move on, or you guys like move into different directions. Like it's not really like a high school thing where you guys had a fight and like whatever happened, some dumb teenage thing. I'm not trying to say that in a rude way, but like, how we would fight with our friends because of whatever. I don't even know. Like, and it would be like, okay, and then we reconcile, and it's like, okay, we're best friends forever again, of course. Like, of course, we're not mad at each other anymore. We're soulmates, duh. But I think when you are an adult and you're navigating friendships and those, it's not like a friend breakup anymore. It's like, of course, the feelings are involved of like, I guess, frustration of like, why did we have to go our separate ways, and why can't we be friends anymore? Like, but I think as you get older, you start to understand like people do just kind of move in different directions. Like people's lives go in different ways. Some people get married and have kids, and other people don't. And some people move to different states, and some people you just don't connect with as you don't connect with anymore like you did growing up. I had two best friends that I was friends with for, I know one of them was over 10 years. She was my best friend growing up, and we don't speak at all anymore. We haven't spoken for years. And I think the last few things we said to each other is just like, I love you. I'll always love you, and I wish you well. But it's kind of like, I think we were trying to keep the friendship going, but it just wasn't the same anymore. Like we didn't live in the same city anymore. We kind of didn't really, we just changed because we grew up, and it sucks. It really does. I still miss her to this day. I still miss the friends that I've lost. I miss every single friend that I've lost, or every single friend that has moved on, every single friend that I've parted ways with, I miss dearly. But I mean, the sad, unfortunate truth, I think the most painful truth for me, one of the most painful truths for me, is you can't keep everyone. As much as I wish that I could, I can't. So, but knowing that, it really brings an appreciation and it brings gratitude to anybody I end up becoming friends with, any person who enters my life for any period of time. I have this deeper gratitude for them. Like I cherish them in a much more profound way because of how fragile friendship is and how quickly life moves and how quickly things can change. So I've really learned the lesson of gratitude and of cherishing the people that come into your lives, no matter who it is, no matter how long they're there, whether it's 2 months or 10 years. Appreciate them. Appreciate all of them. Appreciate all your friends and make new ones too. So basically sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second, but yeah, friends. Friends are good, and appreciate them, and I think I just started thinking about too many things at once, and like my brain started trailing off in a different, like, talk about this next, talk about this next, talk about this next, and I'm like, don't talk about anything. Nothing comes out of my mouth because you're trying to go in so many different directions. Kind of like when you're trying to do something, like you should do that, you should also do that thing, you should also do that thing, but we're gonna do nothing instead. Yeah, kind of like that. But yeah, so I've grown to enjoy being social, and I really like that I enjoy being social because it's something I just feel like I really missed out on growing up, or not necessarily missed out on, but just something I didn't experience for a long time. I didn't experience the joy and the fulfillment that comes from socializing and just meeting people and just feeling good about it. So I'm really happy that I've reached this stage in my life where I can go out and socialize and like feel good about it, like feel joy from it. I love that.
Can't seem to keep my mind off of you. It comes and it goes, but it's never gone. How can I go on without you? Please don't let me. Please don't let me. You got me feeling a fight. You got me feeling a fight. Like how could I not think of you?
I've done this before with podcasts or with recording where I sit down and I just try and wing it, and it kind of just comes out jumbled and unstructured and just kind of a mess. So, but what I'm really good at is if I give myself some talking points, I can go off of those talking points. Like I can talk about a lot. Like a lot will, if I give my brain a direction to move in, so if I say, here's this thing, so just start talking about that. If I give my brain a direction to move in, typically it goes pretty well. And it isn't as messy and disorganized. And hopefully it turned out okay that way. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was nice. I just get into like talk mode and chilling in my room and in my bed and just relaxing in this kind of environment. It just, I don't know, makes me feel comfortable. And yeah, that's one of the things that I'm struggling with, is being comfortable with my perspectives and my feelings and my thoughts and expressing them. So hopefully this will help me get more comfortable with those things. I didn't think of a podcast for that reason until recording this episode. So that's cool. I always kind of struggle to find my why sometimes, you know. That's one of the big pieces of advice that I've heard over time, just like doing my research for content creation. It's like, find your why. Why do you want to do the things that you do? And also, one of the things that I learned is, or through my research, one of the things that I've heard that it's kind of a golden nugget that I take away too is just like, what kind of value are you offering other people in what you put out as a content creator, as a creator? What value do you offer to other people? And I kind of still struggle figuring that out, which is crazy because it's like, I know that I have important things to say, and I know that the things that I say will probably help people. Like, I have this, like, I don't want to get too far into this because it's going to be confusing and I'm going to go off the rails. So I'll just kind of keep it short. But it's like, I know that I'm worth something, right? Like, I know that I know I'm worthy, but it's hard for me to be like, what value do you bring? So when I ask myself that question, it's like, do I have value? Do I bring value to people's lives? Like, I find myself questioning it, even though it's like this thing, like, I know, of course you bring value to people's lives. Like, I just start questioning it. I'm like, well, how? What kind of value do you bring into people's lives? How do you bring value into people's lives? What are you doing? Like, so sorry if that was confusing. It's just kind of this back and forth of like, I am worthy and I do bring value into people's lives. And it's like, but how do you do that? What makes you worthy? Like, that kind of thing. I just have this back and forth dialogue in my head of like just two completely like opposite perspectives of like, you are worthy and you are beautiful, and it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, what who do you think you are again? Like, literally. It's fun. It's so fun. It's not fun. Most of the time it's not fun. It's hard. It's really hard. Because it's like, which perspective is like me? And I have to understand, or at least I'm trying to understand, it's like both perspectives are you. Like, there's a part of you that believes that you're worthy and a part of you that doesn't. There's a part of you that thinks that you bring value and a part of you that doesn't. So that's cool. That's great. I think it's nice to just be aware of that, though, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so this is kind of going off the rails. So I'm going to go back to what I was talking about before, is that I wrote down a question for the last, like, kind of silly, stupid thing to direct my brain into, the direction to bring my brain. Yep, you can tell that my thoughts are getting twisted, that I'm losing my train of thought because I'm jumbling up my words. So I'm just going to read the question that I wrote down for myself. So, what would you do if you were a frog? Great question, Ellie. What would I do if I were a frog? Well, I'd probably ribbit. Probably do that. Definitely jump. Yes, I'd definitely jump. Because those suckers can jump. You ever had a frog jump on you? Especially like the little ones? They scare you because they're so fast. And they're just spontaneous. Just like, whoa. Am I going to jump? You don't know. Ah, I'm jumping. I'd be a spontaneous jumper. That'd be fun. So I'd jump. I would ribbit. I would jump. And, I don't know if I'd eat flies, right? Or like other insects. But I would have a stretchy tongue, like a long tongue, right? Is that true? Do frogs really have that kind of tongue? Because I don't know. If I were a frog, Would I have that kind of tongue? Sure. I mean, I wouldn't want to eat bugs, but I guess if I were a frog, I wouldn't care because that would be my diet. It's like me being a human and I eat what I eat. It's just normal. Me being a frog, eating bugs would be normal, right? So I guess I'd have to eat bugs. So I would ribbit, I would jump, and I would eat bugs. Yeah. I think I'm glad that I'm a human being. I think that's what that question reveals to me. I'm happy to be a human being and not any other thing because there were a lot of options. There were a lot of options, but I get to be a human. Yay! It sucks sometimes, but I'm happy about it anyway. And I'm happy that you joined me for this episode of The Bedside Table. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I did. I think it was fun. And yeah, that's all I have. I painted my toenails red. Nice. And we talked about some stuff. And, well, I guess I'll see you next week for episode 2 of The Bedside Table. I'm your host, Sleepy Ellie. And my friends, it is time for bed. Good night.